Yo, really quickly before this episode continues, I was listening to it while I was like just trimming some of it up a little bit. I didn't notice that there was like a slight ticking in like the first I don't know how many minutes of this, but yeah, I think eventually at some point I like adjusted like my settings because my mic like the mic was picking up like wind in my house or whatever. So yeah, just giving that as a heads up, like that's what the stuff is in the background. Eventually, I'm pretty sure it goes away, but in the beginning stage, it's just there. Uh, but we're working on it. So yeah, let's get back to the episode.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Going for Three podcast, episode 16, Sweet 16. I am your host, Tony Farr. With me, as always, are my co-host, Percy Thomas, aka PTP, and Chris Collins, aka Hot Takes Collins. What's up, gentlemen?
What's going on, man? It's
Good.
you know, I could be better. Could be better.
I hear you.
If a certain unibrowed individual would play to his capabilities.
Well, speaking of that, today is a special episode. Today was the NBA trade deadline. The deadline has come and gone, and we've got a lot to talk about. It has been a wild week in the NBA, thankfully. A lot of trades went down, headlined by the blockbuster trade between the Sixers and Nets with James Harden and Ben Simmons. We will get into that and much more, so stay tuned. So let's get started, boys. Okay, let's in no particular order. Let's go. Let's get through these. We got Norman Powell and Robert Covington traded to the Clippers for Eric Bledsoe, Justice Winslow, Keon Johnson, and a 2025 second-round pick from Detroit. I mean, Blazers probably going to. I think Bledsoe's probably on his way out. Blazers stacking salary cap.
Yeah, it's definitely.
I mean, it definitely felt like it felt like a very blow it up type of dump move, along with the other one that they did. It's just like I can't see. I don't like what they got back. You give the Clippers two quality players who are going to fit pretty damn well, next to Kawhi and Paul George, assuming that those two come back.
And hopefully keeps the Clippers in playoff contention for this year while they're out too.
Oh, no. That's not going to happen. We're not that's not going to happen. They're going to be right up. They're going to be right outside of that. But they're good moves. Norman Powell is a proven scorer in this league. Obviously, Robert Covington is a proven 3-and-D guy. Sometimes a little bit overrated as far as his defense. But nonetheless, these are very, very positive players that can build toward what the Clippers like to do. I feel like they like to have like a bunch of versatile wings / forwards. So those two guys kind of fit right into that mold.
Yeah. Plus the Blazers. I feel like the Blazers didn't get young enough. Honestly, they didn't get young enough.
I mean, I don't know what the Blazers are doing, so I couldn't really.
I mean, like I feel like on paper it could be seen as two things. They either want to get like people that are coming off like dumpable contracts so that they can do stuff in free agency and somehow kind of like try to mend the relationship, at least from a team perspective with Damian Lillard, because obviously Lillard loves Portland, but team wise they haven't given him anything in a long time. But throwing in like a Keon Johnson, who like I would assume was in the same timeline as Simons and Little and like Ellerby. You kind of would want if they're going for like some young rotational pieces that could eventually become more. Bringing in Justice Winslow, who I don't think he's played over 20 games since like his first 2 or 3 seasons in the league. So it's an invalid player as far as like availability, and then Eric Bledsoe just Eric Bledsoe.
Oh, he played last night. Did all right.
Yeah, his availability is just like very, very like. Very, very like minimal. It might be better for the Blazers because like they have a lot of forwards, so he doesn't have to be out there as much. But
And the Blazers are going to have hella cap space, so
Yeah.
You know.
He might
yeah,
get
but like Portland has never been a free agent like destination. I mean, I'm not saying that Portland is definitely a nice city. It's one of the nicer cities, but it's not really a free agent destination. So them clearing up this cap room for who? Who are they? Who's going to go to Portland for one and two? Accumulating these young players who aren't on Damian Lillard's timeline just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know who they think they are. Maybe they think they're the Pacers, and they can just get superstars to build around an older Dame, and he'll just fit seamlessly, a la Jermaine O'Neal type shit. But I mean, it doesn't seem like they know what they're doing.
They're going to be top 10. I feel like when draft time rolls around, unless they squeak in for a play-in spot. But they're going to be top 10, so hopefully they draft smart enough for it to matter. Like, I don't know.
But I feel like if you're trying to rebuild through the draft, top 10 that's pushing it, man. Like,
yeah,
you got to get higher than that, or you really got to be drafting some diamonds in the rough, and that also just depends on the class.
Yeah,
whether you're gonna get a star that's deep in that. But it's just like, I don't know. They are stuck in this situation. I really wish they would just move Dame. And now with the trade happening in Philly, I don't even know what his destination would even be. Like New York, maybe.
Shoot.
I don't know.
Hey, Brooklyn probably just opened up too. Hey.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we got Caris LeVert and a Miami 2022 second to the Cavaliers for Ricky Rubio, 2 second-round picks, and a lottery-protected first to the Pacers.
I like it. I like it a lot.
You can go first, BTP.
Well, mainly the reason I like it is because, like, for one, Caris LeVert is definitely he's been on the borderline of being like a potential all-star shooting guard. I feel like, in my opinion, so even since like Brooklyn, but Indiana obviously being like in the position where they want to blow it up or like at least kind of like restart right now. It works out for them because I think Rubio's on a 1-year deal, or at least like if he stays, if that's a veteran point guard that you add to your rotation, and Cavs get a very like scoring based kind of shooting guard, and Caris LeVert comes in, makes it easier for Garland and Mobley, and plus he played with Jared Allen for at least 4 or 5 seasons in Brooklyn, I think. So so like he's comfortable there. He's from Ohio. Like, it works out.
Yeah, I mean, as we go through the trades, Pacers getting younger, they get a first round pick. It's fine for them. I love Caris in Cleveland. Him and Garland, I think, are going to be an excellent backcourt. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I am loving everything that Cleveland's doing. Loving it. Like, that's a really good team, and they just got even better. I love that backcourt. I really do. And obviously, Sexton's done. He's getting traded for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as if there was any doubt,
he's
going off season. Yeah, but yeah, I love that. Love it. I know I said a lot, but
you have. I think. Yeah. Tell me how you really feel.
It's starting to become a catchphrase. I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I reiterate all the things that you guys said. Caris LeVert obviously has the ability to score at multiple different levels. He can serve the role as the secondary ball handler, so that just makes that team more dynamic. It makes it hard for them to key in. It makes it harder for other teams to key in on Darius Garland as he improved as well. So, PTP talked about that chemistry that Jared Allen was going to have with him already. We already see the chemistry that Darius Garland has with Allen. So you're just bringing in another guy that's used to playing with, some players on that team is going to fit pretty seamlessly, in my opinion. Also, the fact that he's just bigger at that position, I feel like that's an important thing, honestly.
Yeah.
I know Sexton was there at the shooting guard, but he's like 6'1". So I mean, that small backcourt can just present problems. So
Yeah,
Caris,
it's great. It's a great fit. I mean, the
yeah,
chemistry is already there. The backcourt works together. Another score, just another home run for Cleveland. Good for them.
I'm not so sure though that Cleveland would be in a hurry to get rid of Sexton. I do think that Sexton is gone because he's a restricted free agent. I think somebody will pay him more money than Cleveland's willing to match. But I definitely feel like Cleveland would be open to bringing Colin Sexton back, especially if he was okay with like accepting like a 6-man role.
Yeah, because Rondo might not stay, so they might have to still fill that backup PP role.
Yeah, maybe, but I think he'll price. I am pretty sure, like with free agency.
I mean, Rondo's not like a 6-man necessarily. Like he's a. When I think of 6-man, I feel like guys that are gonna come in and give me like buckets.
Straight buckets. Yeah.
I know that's not how it always is, but I feel like Sexton is like perfect for that role. Honestly,
Yeah,
come in and give you that young bull energy, and like now he doesn't have to take that role, and he probably shouldn't even feel like he needs to take that role at this point. He's 23. He's had seasons where he's averaged over 20 points a game for semi-competitive teams. They haven't been into playoffs yet.
Yeah,
but, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna say that his stats are empty or anything like that. I feel like Cleveland would have still had a lot of success this year if he was healthy. It's not just it's not one of those things where I feel like his injury like is the key to their success. It more so just kind of opened up things with Darius Garland, but we don't know if that would have still happened anyway because Darius played well with Colin last year anyway, and it could just be a natural progression for him. So
I will say the team.
It's true. I just think he'll end up.
You said what?
I will say the team does look. It seems like they're having more fun with Garland at point guard. Mainly Kevin Love, honestly. I feel like the rest of the team probably has no problem with Sexton, but like Love looks like he's happier playing with a guard that's sharing the ball more.
But last year Darius Garland was the point guard though with Colin Sexton. Like he was the point guard last year. He was handling the ball as the primary ball handler last year because Colin is really just a scorer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like now with Colin, now his touches improved, but I mean that role was kind of already there.
Yeah.
Because Colin's not that great of a passer, I would say. So that's what, that's why they drafted Darius Garland when they had Colin Sexton.
Yeah, it's right. One was the way better playmaker
because they knew Colin was. Yeah, one can be a bucket, but Darius is a traditional, or let me not say traditional, but he can run an offense at a better clip than Colin can.
Hey, next up, we got the Pelicans and Blazers. C.J. McCollum, Larry Nance Jr. and Tony Snell to New Orleans for Josh Hart, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Tomas Satoransky, Didi Louzada, 2022 first, 2026 and 2027 second.
Like that trade for Portland at all. It doesn't make sense to me. I feel like what year's the second or what year's the first? I mean,
it's this year.
Okay, so right now the Pelicans are what's the word? They're streaking. They've moved themselves into the 10th spot. They very well could improve, with Brandon Ingram getting more into the swing of things, and if CJ can incorporate himself well, they could very well continue to move up. So I don't know how much value that first is really going to keep going forward. It's just like you give up obviously an all-star level talent, even though he hasn't been one, but we all know what CJ can do on the court. You give up that, you give up Larry Nance, who's can be a good backup center, and it's just like you get back like just players to me that are non-factors. And even if you want to talk about like Nickeil, he has potential, I guess, but he's still just a flyer. He's still so inconsistent. Like, he's still susceptible to just doing still like a bunch of, I'll say, young stuff on the court. I won't say dumb stuff. And,
Well,
and then like them seconds. I mean, I don't know how many. I don't know
yeah.
how much people value seconds like that. Like, cool, you got 2 seconds, but I feel like they could have gotten a better package for CJ than what they received.
Well,
Honestly,
I think it depends. It depends on the team. If by the time the seconds roll around and the team is bad, they're a lottery team. They could be top 5, pick. Then those second rounders, our early seconds, are basically the same as a late first. They could have some value. I mean,
well, I mean that's true,
Portland.
but at the same time, you're getting the second rounders from the Pelicans, right?
I assume.
Are those
As
second
far as
rounders the
as far as I
Pelicans?
know, they're the Pelicans second rounders. Yes.
I mean, they have a lot of young talent, and I mean, do we really expect them to continue to be bottom of the league with Brandon still being there, and obviously, I mean, the big
We don't
man
know. We don't know.
on the shelf.
4 or 5 years from
Yeah,
now, who knows?
they could very
I mean,
well be one of the best teams in the West
I
in
mean,
Yeah.
3 years.
but the Blazers stacking picks. You go back
Not,
to Portland having the cap space, maybe to try to lure free agents, but you're also stacking picks that if you can't lure somebody via free agency, you can stack the pick to try to get what you need to play alongside Dame. I get that part at least.
I don't know. I just thought that they could have gotten even a better pick, like from a worse team. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like looking into it.
Well,
Since we got better though.
That was
That was it.
Okay, no, go ahead, finish.
Wait, which one? Oh. I mean, I was like
this one.
Yeah, like
you were saying
just looking
something.
at the deals. I mean, because I think the day after, like a few days later, like Nikhil ain't even there anymore. So I mean, that makes him lose his trade even more because I mean, not to say he could have like really been anything like his cousin or anything, but that's something that's another young piece that you lose. The package as a whole really did seem like it fell flat because you gave up a solid, like Chris said, you give up a solid role playing big, and Larry. Tony Snell is just there. I'm not really worried about that. And with a 2022 protected first, if the Pelicans get Zion back in the condition that they expect him to be in, alongside CJ and Bi, that's pretty much a playing team. Maybe even sneaking in potentially to get a spot as a whole. So that first round pick might not mean anything.
I was about to say, with the right coach, I expect it to be more. I expect it to be more than that. You have three all-star level, all-star level players. That's what the way I see that.
Valanciunas is playing. Valanciunas is playing. Is playing his butt off in that paint. He's shooting. Jackson Hayes, when he's not dealing with the cops, is giving them double doubles. They still got. I mean, that's just honestly what it is. Troy Murphy, the guy they drafted, I think this year, along with Herbert Jones, they still have a lot of room to grow. Herbert Jones looked really, really good in the spurts that he's played. Like this Pelicans team wasn't a team that the Blazers should have dealt with because they're starting to figure it out a little bit. And once they have all their pieces in order, that first round pick's not going to matter. The seconds, kind of like Chris said, it depends. It depends how
it won't matter either. If the first doesn't matter, the second won't either. Because if it's a late first, then I mean, late second, you might as well just.
It's good,
like camp guys,
definitely, or like summer league guys that you see them, they look good, but do you really want to put them on your roster? Like it's one of those type of scenarios.
Maybe G League at best, honestly, unless they really just.
Yeah. Plus, in theory, I mean, just to finish this out before we move on, it took Simmons and Nasir Little on, like, at least to my knowledge, maybe three seasons of being like G League players to actually fully get like starter type production or starter type minutes. And I just feel like the development that they have, like, them picks ain't gonna matter either. Like, I just feel like their development team is like just really, really slow when it comes to certain players.
Well, speaking of this trade, since this is actually a good segue, because after the Blazers got all of those players from the Pelicans. They rerouted Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Tomas Satoransky in a 3-team trade. Alexander Walker and Juancho Hernangomez to Utah. Satoransky and a 2027 Jazz second rounder to the Spurs. Joe Ingles expiring contract, Elijah Hughes, and a 2022 second round Utah draft pick to Portland. I don't see this as much. I mean, I don't get other than the Blazers clearing more cap space. Yeah.
I don't know why the Jazz wanted Nickeil. Honestly, he's like at this point just like a worse version of Clarkson.
I could see it for the Jazz. I mean,
yeah. Because
I mean,
you were just taking a flyer on them.
Like how their team is constructed.
Yeah, maybe
their starting lineup is literally like the biggest bright side of the roster. Once Mitchell has to sit down, the team just looks like it just doesn't know how to put the ball in the net most of the time. So you get like Nickeil, who obviously is very streaky with his shooting right now because he's still trying to figure it out. But you put him up there with Jordan Clarkson, who's already a very proven 6-man. Whether he runs point or runs two, probably runs point at that point. But
I don't know if you want both.
I mean, it's a lot of shot chucking, but it's to me it's better than having Royce O'Neal out there, like because Royce O'Neal doesn't do anything. To me, like.
Yeah, but he also doesn't take dumb bad shots either. Like Nickeil really just be throwing them bitches up. Just for real, man. Like he just be throwing them up. I was like, bro, where do you get off?
Like I said earlier, like I don't think it'll be anything. I don't think it'll be anything close to his cousin. Because SGA every once in a while he'll throw him up, but at that half court shot, the chance of him making is probably higher than Nickeil. But I don't know. It's probably like it's definitely probably a flyer thing. And then Juancho, they just get a veteran shooter. Guy, once again, another guy you could throw in a rotation. So.
All right.
But then sorry. Okay.
Oh, you got something else to add?
I mean, just the whole to move Joe Ingles. I mean, he's been a part of that core for so long, and
I mean,
just to move him for the pieces that they gave. I know, but to move him for the pieces that they got,
it falls flat for what he meant to that team. Really,
I mean, yeah, it definitely does. But financially, Cat, he's 34, torn ACL, contract year. I mean, it's kind of dirty, but financially, I get it. I mean, that's what I think. But okay, next up, this was a good one. I really like this one. Tyrese Halliburton, Buddy Hield, and Tristan Thompson to Indiana for DeMontis Sabonis, Justin Holiday, Jeremy Lamb, and a 2023 second rounder.
Okay. So let's see here. I wasn't in love with the trade for the Kings.
Oh yeah,
before I saw Sabonis get on the floor with them, and now. When they played, it looked like something serious.
Mm-hmm.
He fit right in.
It was like Sabonis unleashed.
Yeah, because he's playing with what we're gonna find out probably is an elite guard. I mean, I know De'Aaron Fox is on a lot of people's radar that follow the game.
Under the radar.
For the casual fan, a lot of people don't really know, his level of talent that he has. So you give him another like high level talent like that, you give him a player that Marvin Bagley was supposed to. Yeah. So, and then they also get back some quality depth at the wing with Jeremy Lamb and Justin Holiday. And that pick, I mean, those two guys are, they can play some defense, they can shoot.
Works well with Terrence Davis off the bench.
So, yeah. They both have good size to my knowledge. Yeah. Jeremy Lamb's like 6'5", 6'6". Justin Holiday's got to be like 6'6". Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, for them, I definitely like that trade. Yeah. And then for the Pacers, I mean, they get a potential. I still don't know yet, but a potential All-Star level player going forward. Obviously, you get a proven scorer and shooter with Buddy Hield and a quality big with Tristan. We finally get to see what Miles will be, as that main center. So like I don't know, the Pacers were able to move the guys that they wanted to move while bringing back a potential quality foundational piece in the future. So,
I mean, I think they would have rather moved Miles than Sabonis, but I think when it came down to it, this is what happened. I mean, Sabonis unleashed in Sacramento. We'll see what happens with them. He looked really good last night. Woo. I love this new backcourt in Indiana. Duarte and Halliburton. Oh my goodness, I could be one of the best in the league. I mean, I really good get for Indiana. I you know what? When it first happened, like you had said, when it first happened, didn't make a lot of sense for the Kings anyway, and especially with as much as Tyrese liked Sacramento, he wanted to be there. He was upset about being traded, all that. So that soured me. But the more I look at it, I just think, him and Duarte, that they're going to. I don't think if Indiana's going into like a rebuild mode, I don't think it's going to be a very long one.
Yeah, I mean, I think they definitely have one of if probably not, or one of if not the biggest backcourt in the league, with both those guys being 6'5", 6'6" ish range. So I mean, it definitely be interesting. As far as them, getting back to contention levels. I think they still need one more guy. Personally, I don't know. I'm not as sold on Duarte, I guess, as maybe other people are. I think he's definitely a good player, but I don't know what his ceiling could be, honestly. And for this to get them into contention, Tyrese and Duarte are probably gonna have to be star players.
Yeah, I'm about to say
along with Miles Turner. So
it's just overall,
but,
like Halliburton.
I mean,
Halliburton to me, like just going back to looking at the footage that he'd had from I think he went to Ohio State for college, I think. When he's running an offense, which is why I didn't really like when the Kings drafted him at first, like originally, just because like you have De'Aaron Fox back there. Like Halliburton I feel like Halliburton to really like get his full potential would have to be like your starting point guard to really like see his court vision, his defensive acumen. Like it's already very, very high. You throw him in the backcourt with Duarte, who once again is another really smart young player who came in Indiana, and people didn't really expect much of it just because of how old he was. He was like one of the older players in the draft class, but he's shooting the orange off that thing. Now he got Buddy Hield to learn from on top of that. Didn't know who the Pacers get in the draft this year. Like G said, like their rebuild is not going to be that long. It's not going to be that long.
No, a good draft in free agency, if they have any money. I mean, they could be right back in the playoff next year.
Hey man, we'll see. I guess I'm just not that high. Yeah. I'm not that high on them right now. I like Tyrese for sure, and Chris is a nice player. But I mean, I don't know. I look at the landscape of the land.
Long term, Pacers probably win this deal with Halliburton. But
that's still not so. I mean, that will remain to be seen, because I can definitely see a route for where the Kings do something and they can get in that conversation, right, as well. But and in my opinion, like the bottom of the East, or the East right now has more quality teams than the West. Personally, that's how I feel right now. But
should be interesting for both teams, honestly.
We'll
After
see
seeing the Kings
forward.
play, I want to see the Pacers play now. Honestly, I just want to see how it looks.
All right. Okay. Next up, and I'm doing these in no particular order, but let's get our man PTP involved in the conversation here for real. The four team trade. Let's go. The Bucks get Serge Ibaka, 2 future seconds. Kings get Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Jackson, and Trey Lyles. The Clippers get Semi Ojeleye and Rodney Hood. And the Detroit Pistons get Marvin Bagley.
Okay, want me to go first? All right.
Take it away, my brother. Oh, yeah.
Go first? Yeah, no. Yeah,
go ahead.
He gonna talk a while.
Yeah, all right, I'm gonna.
Well, me or PGP.
I was gonna sum it up a little bit, not to drag it or anything. I tweeted about Marvin Bagley in November. You know, like just yeah, I manifested it in my eyes. I manifested.
You did.
I love it for us because draft gets a lot more interesting for us now. As far as like, you know, most people probably would have thought, you know, Jabari Smith was the consensus, but now we have a power for it. In my opinion, I feel like we have a power for it now. Yeah,
I mean,
you gotta show us.
You gotta show you something first.
Like, I feel like you might have got a power for it now. So then you move on to center. Kings in this case, they get Trey Lyles and Josh Jackson. Josh Jackson was hit or miss. Trey Lyles is really, really good. Like, once again, the Kings really get a stronger team just through a really nice trade, well-rounded trade. And Bucks getting Serge is underrated to me. I ain't gonna lie. Like, well, underrated probably because, like, you know, Serge, I don't think Serge has played this much this year due to the injuries coming off of. But Bucks front court, like, all healthy, like Brooke, Giannis, Bobby, and Serge, that's a tough team to compete against on the interior. Like, they are going to cause problems on the interior. I can't wait to see how that works out. Like, because I don't know what the timetable is for Brooke, but the way Bobby's shooting and, you know, Giannis being Giannis, like, that's gonna be a tough team to out in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I like this for both the Bucks and the Pistons. With the way Giannis and the way Portis has been playing, adding Serge to that, you know, hopefully you get Brooke back soon because you're losing a little bit of shooting, but that front court's nasty now. And hey, Pistons need a big. Bagley, you know, gets a fresh start. All that raw ability could get brought out. That team could be real nice. So, I mean, I see it as a win for both. Absolutely. If Bagley's even, you know, 80% of what people think he could be, that Pistons team gonna be nice. See, I said something nice about your team. Don't sell my shit.
But that's just to butter it up for when the Celtics deals come up.
No, not at all. Nope. I meant it. No cap. I meant it. If he's even 80%, like I said, if he's even 80% of what people think he can be, that Pistons team gonna be nice.
Team Bagley over here, though.
They will. I like that young core they got. Chris?
You know, Marvin Bagley was the number 2 overall pick in this draft for a reason. So clearly somebody saw, you know, there was potential there. You know, he hasn't really capitalized on it for various reasons. Sacktown, all of that. And him, all of those things. But he gets a fresh start in Detroit. If he can't make it work here, he can't make it work anywhere. That's all I'm gonna say about that. LA, I don't. Those moves are cool. They don't do much for me. I mean, neither of those guys are better than the other two guys they got in the previous trade. So I did whatever. Rodney. So I mean, they're literally might be worse versions of the two guys that they got before them. So yeah. So it's just like, whatever for that. Milwaukee getting Serge Ibaka is going to be huge. That is a huge move. I don't know why he wasn't playing a lot in LA this year. He played in a good amount of games, but his minutes were just like way down. I don't know if for whatever reason that was, if they were always planning to move him or what, I don't know. But he still has the ability to shot block and enforce around the rim, and that way he can shoot threes, mid range, all of that. So he's going to stretch the floor and stretch that team in a very Brook Lopez type way. I think he's more mobile than Brook Lopez. So although Brook is still a good defender, we know he ain't lateral quickness ain't that great. So I think that's a very good move for them, and they get 2 future seconds. No matter how good I don't know how good they're going to be, but Milwaukee has shown that. Yeah, and Milwaukee has shown that they are a very good developmental team. So, that's a good trade for them. I don't like how they moved Dante. I really wish that they could have kept him. I really wish they would have gave up Grayson Allen instead. But apparently they don't think that the difference between those two is that high.
He's a better defender.
But I think Dante's just a way better player. And that's not to say that Grayson's a scrub, because he definitely isn't. But like Dante, before his injury, I think he's a better shooter. I think Dante's a better player than Grayson. Almost on every aspect. And that's not an insult to Grayson, like I said, because he can play. I just was high on Dante. But yeah, and then Sacramento gets Dante, Josh Jackson, who, shit, you tell me about him. I don't know. He that's a bust right there.
How you look at it.
So
agreed.
He can go there and take up minutes, I guess. I look at it as he was the number 4 overall pick in his draft.
But I feel like he was always a project. That's why he shouldn't have went for it. He was always a project.
Man.
Because in college you couldn't shoot.
He wasn't looked at as a project coming out of college. He wasn't inept. He it's not like he wasn't shooting. It's not like one of those things where like, damn, his percentages were down, but it's not like he was just completely, And then when you look at the other guys of that draft, hey now, okay, so yeah, and then you got Trey Lyles, quality backup big. He can fulfill starter responsibilities if needed. It's decent for them to get Dante and Trey. I don't know what they're going to plan on doing with Dante, just mainly because I don't know who's going to start that second guard position. I assumed it was going to be Davion. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do with that going forward. But I would say that the winners of this trade would probably be, if I had to rank it, would be Milwaukee 1, Detroit 2, Sacramento 3.
Which is there, honestly, if we're being honest.
But LA didn't. LA just kind of moved off Surge. Is what it seems like.
Yeah, I think the Clippers are just trying to tread water. Probably try to make the playoffs and get their guys back. But
now, depending on how how it goes up in Detroit, it could definitely you guys could definitely move up into that first spot as far as the winner of the trade. Because, like I said, if he can be on the level of any of the guys in the top 5 of the draft, like if he could literally be on like DeAndre Ayton's level, just in his own way, because they have different games, but just like in his own way, that would be a success to me. Because he's versatile, he's athletic, he showed potential as far as being able to shoot, so coming out of college,
Can't wait to
his
see
potential
Bagley
was
in them
crazy.
in the Little Caesars
So-
Arena, man. It's gonna get wicked out here, man. No cap. It's gonna get wicked.
Next up, we got Goran Dragic and a protected 2022 first to San Antonio for Thaddeus Young, Drew Eubanks, Detroit 2022 second to the Raptors. Spurs dumping salary, getting a first. They're probably going to. I assume they're going to buy. Dragic won't even be with the team for the rest of the season.
I think Eubanks
he'll
getting bought
probably
out too.
get bought out.
Mm-hmm.
Where he goes, who knows?
Oh, wave probably. Yeah.
I thought he got waived. It looked like.
Might have. Yeah.
Eubanks got waived. Thaddeus Young. I mean, he definitely
seems like somebody
Thaddeus
they
Young
would
definitely feels
use.
like Toronto. I don't know.
He kind of does.
He
kind of does. He kind of. Yeah.
He feels like he would just fit in like
tenacity.
The Canadian red.
This might be
Is this his first time on the Raptors? I feel like he's been on a good amount of teams.
I think it is.
I mean,
it is. Okay, yeah. I like it for them. They're still pushing. They're in the playoffs right now. They're getting great production from their four main guys with Fred, Pascal, OG, and Scotty. So if Thaddeus can come in and provide, the veteran leadership, and he can still play. So he provide that veteran leadership and presence as well as giving them his production, because he's still a capable defender. So and also I feel like he'd be a great player to be around for Scotty and OG. More so Scotty, because he's still young. Like OG knows he's been in this league for a couple years now. But yeah, I mean, I like the move for them. And then like you said, San Antonio gets a first rounder. I think it's they need to.
It's a little puzzling
be getting as many assets as they can, in my opinion. Try to package it for like a star player. Yeah, I think they try to package it for a star player or package it for a higher draft pick so they can kind of build around what they have already. Because I don't think the Spurs don't get free agents.
I mean, I feel like this trade just opens the door for like that.
All right, let's get to what?
Yeah. Oh, and then also among the interested people, well, this is what Woj said, that the teams expected to be interested in Goran would be Dallas, Milwaukee, Chicago, and the Clippers. I can see Dallas. I don't really know about Milwaukee, Chicago. I don't know about those two. And the Clippers, I mean, maybe just
I was gonna say Dallas,
just to tread water, like Greg was
Luka
saying,
really wants Goran. I
can definitely see Dallas.
Like that fits for them.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean,
the deal today.
I mean, more
which we'll get to
later on that. But I mean, Goran just seems like a point guard.
I think so.
That would mesh well with Luka. I mean, Brunson is still very much solid, but they might end up losing him. So if you can get a veteran, Yeah.
I mean, if he's restricted, then I mean they're gonna have to pay him. Somebody's gonna pay him. So I mean,
if he's as tired as everybody says he is, then
he's going to get bread.
They're gonna have to be content with Goran.
Yeah. It could be. All right, moving on. Let's get my boys out of the way since we made 3 trades today. First up, the quickest one. We sent PJ Dozier, Bol, and a future second to the Magic for a future second. Nothing to see here. Salary dump. Injured players. Salary dump.
I mean, you got Bobo getting passed around like, I ain't,
yeah.
I mean, Orlando. I mean, that seems like the vacuum of young players right now. They have so many young players. So they're trying to see where they're all going to be. So I mean, but hopefully he'll be able to get some actual tick down there, and we can actually see what he can be long term. And then you guys get a future second. Would do we know the year on that?
No, I do not.
I mean, if it's like 2022 or 23, it could be decent. But I mean, yeah, like you said, salary dumping. You know, you're getting Orlando got cash considerations as well, and also a future second. So it might just be a pick
healthy
swap.
Bobo and Obama could be
More than
wicked.
likely.
Yeah, very well could be.
That. Hey,
I don't really like that. It could to be honest. But he's shooting more. But I mean,
Obama.
which one of them can bang in the paint? Maybe he's improved his shot blocking, but I mean he's still slight.
Okay, next up, ball trades Dennis Schroeder, Enes Freedom, and Bruno Fernando to the Rockets for Daniel Tice.
For real. I was literally like, why? I don't. What was the point of that?
Well,
did you guys not like Dennis? Thought he was playing pretty well for you guys.
Here and there, yeah. I don't mind getting Tice back. The Jays like him. He knows the system. He plays hard. He bangs.
He bangs with his. He tries with his size. He's definitely.
Floor spacing. Definitely upgrade at the backup big spot. I know the Rockets already waived Enes, so I don't know what they're thinking is here, but I don't mind having Tice back. He fits. They know him. He jumps right in, gives them quality minutes off the bench. Fight for rebounds, floor space.
If you're gonna hit up the Rockets for
I got no problem with it.
I thought you would have tried to go for Wood.
Yes,
Wood is definitely on the market. Like, my opinion.
The fact that facts. I don't know. It's the fact that I gave up Dennis and Ennis and Bruno for Daniel Tice. It was clear that you guys wanted Daniel Tice.
In theory, they kind of got
almost like you got.
I ain't gonna lie, Bruno Fernando isn't even really.
But
he doesn't play.
They're not keeping. They're not keeping.
And like everybody knows Dennis Freedom, but
he's not bad. He's not bad, and we know Ennis Freedom is an offensive bucket in the paint, like offensive centers. He's one of the best offensive centers in the league. And I mean, obviously, Dennis, 6 man of the year, score. On ball, off ball guard, can defend. Can score. I don't know. Daniel Tice better be worth it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean we're playing basically legally in defense at this point, and defensively, I think it's an upgrade for sure.
Yeah,
I'm worried about the bench. But that leads me to the third trade, which was Josh Richardson, Romeo Langford, top 4 protected 2022 first, which they'll get because we won't be that. Or a 2028 pick swap, San Antonio's choice, from what I've gathered, for Derek White. That's an upgrade over Schroeder to me.
It is. Here's the question that I would ask you. I know this is previous years. What's the difference between Derek White and Evan Fournier? Because they seem very, very similar. Good shooters that can really get hot. Not really elite athletes. Can score on multiple levels. Complementary scores. 15-point per night guys. Maybe can get up to sub 20. Maybe. You know.
The fit. I think it might be a fit. I think it's a fit thing, and I would say Derek's a better defender.
I mean, I looked at the stats more or less for like what he averages, and I mean,
I don't know how big the margin is.
It might be a plus minus thing when it comes to the defensive side of the ball.
It's about 14, 15.
Like maybe people don't score on him as much, but yeah.
Evan's also bigger though as well.
I mean,
Evan was way bigger
like
than
6'5"?
Kevin, or not Kevin, Derek.
Yeah,
he's like, they got him listed at 6'4", I think, and Evan is like 6'7". Yeah. San Antonio, I love what they got back. Hey, give me I get a quality player who, he's had some struggles previous years, been to the ringer, but Josh can definitely succeed in San Antonio, and then you get Romeo, who's still a young player. I don't know how Grant feels about Romeo. How did you feel about him?
I at times he looked good, at times he didn't. I think it's just a matter of we've had so many first round picks and not enough playing time for him. So the jury's still out.
Well, you gave them another first round pick.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. Well, I think we're trying to build towards a championship contender. We've got the main pieces, so it's why I keep collecting first round picks, because it's obvious we keep making first round picks and they're sitting on the bench not getting playing time. So, I think look, was it an overpay? Yes. I mean, I'm not gonna it was an overpay. It was an overpay. But I like the fit. He's an upgrade. I think in that offense I think his assist numbers will go up a little bit. Obviously defensively he hopefully he gets, his stroke back. He hasn't been shooting particularly well this season. Lately he's been better, but he hasn't been shooting particularly well this season. Hopefully that'll improve. I think he fits us that way. And to be honest with you, I mean, his salary's fine. He's not, a pricey salary, but he is locked in for 3 more years. I do think this move was made for now to help us keep going and hopefully move up in the playoff standings. But I think this move was probably made with the offseason in mind to go big game hunting as a trade piece. To go, say, Bradley Beal hunting.
I don't know why y'all want Bradley Beal, dude. I don't know
we
why.
talked about that. We don't love that trade. It just doesn't make sense. I'm looking at it in terms of what I think. I mean, that's like that's the one need that you guys don't need. You don't need another wing scorer.
Well, like I said, to go big game hunting, obviously Bradley Beal is the one most linked to us. I'm just using that as like the best example of the big game hunting because, Jason and Brad are friends. They're really good friends. They know each other. We've been linked to them. Who knows what's going to happen with him? That's kind of big game hunting. I think because the Celtics want to try to get that third star, quote unquote. And I just think I'm just seeing it in terms of in the offseason having some cap flexibility to go after a big fish, but upgrading what you can use to maybe perhaps trade for one. Derek White is a better trade chip than a Schroeder, possibly a Richardson, unless somebody's looking for, cap relief. But overall, I think he's a better trade chip, and that's probably part of why they did it. Now, could they keep him long-term? Absolutely. But if they're going to go big game hunting in the offseason, he's a better trade chip. He's locked in. He's still fairly young. He can shoot. He sees the floor very very well. He'll give you the assists.
Great.
He plays great defense.
All right.
We must be looking at two different Derek
Man,
Whites.
he's going to be the savior of the team. We got it. Enough of the boys in green.
Derek White.
Enough of the boys in
White
green.
sound like the second coming.
Not what I-
Over here.
All right.
Turning the homering up right now. Man.
He sounded like Steve Thompson Curry the way you talking
the way
about
you made him
right?
sound like he was Klay Thompson just for a second.
Wow.
Yeah. Who's next?
All right. Well, let's move on. Dang. Man can't talk about his own team. All right.
Derek White.
Next up, we got. Damn, selling my team. Celtics fans, I love you. You know I'm with you. Celtics Nation, I'm with you. I love you. I got you. All right. Next up, Hornets and Wizards. Hornets get Trez.
Like it.
Wizards get Vernon Carey, Ish Smith, and a future second.
I like it offensively for Charlotte, but I mean we know Trez is defensively he ain't that. So I mean I don't think he's a long-term
Does
answer
enough
for
for
them.
now. Yeah.
No, but they need a big.
They do need a big.
He can score and he can rebound. So
Beat.
Hey, but when they go up against Giannis or Embiid in the first round,
in the grand scheme of things, I mean,
shit, even Bam.
the moral of the story is partner when Trez ain't no bitch.
Listen.
So it's like, hey,
it's not about him being punked. It's more so like he don't get bodied per se. He just is always in a bad position, get pumped at, faked out his shoes.
He's like a center equivalent to Patrick Beverly. Like better scoring, I mean, like they're best friends, and if you really look at it,
I ain't gonna disrespect.
They're like similar.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, but Trez has been a 6th man of the year though. Like Trez has been a 6th man of the year. I ain't gonna say it like that. I ain't gonna disrespect him like that.
Yeah.
Like, he can score.
Yeah.
He's a better scorer than Pat Bear was a defender. So, in my opinion, I mean, Washington gets Vernon Carey. Project young guy, has potential. We'll see. I don't know. Ish Smith is a good backup guard. So they lost Dinwiddie. So. It makes sense.
I'm not really sure what the Wizards are doing here, but okay.
I mean, they don't know.
Trez upped his stock by a mile to an extent with the earlier campaign of him, being like, I forgot where did he rank in MVP race in the beginning of the season? And but he was up there for a while, so I mean, maybe the Hornets bid on that.
It was somewhere on there,
like thinking that maybe he'd be a solution at least for this season specifically. Who knows?
I mean, teams know who Trez is. Like he's a good offensive center. Who can get you offensive rebounds, bring you energy, and all that. He's limited defensively. I don't think that is not known on anybody. Like it didn't work. It didn't work with the Lakers as well as working with the Wizards because of the personnel that was there.
And Vernon Carey. I mean,
we knew that already.
I like Vernon Carey. So it should be.
So
if he can be anything like Gafford. Like as far as him really growing and expanding on his game, I feel like that could be a good pickup for the Wizards long term. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a flyer. We'll see with him.
Yep. Next up, Torrey Craig to the Suns for Jalen Smith and a future second.
That's it.
Yeah.
Suns are wilding. Suns are wild.
PGP does not like PGP hates Torrey Craig. It's a good trade for Phoenix. They get another wing who can defend, who can make a shot every now and again. And they give up Jalen Smith, who I mean he's a good young player. He's had improvements, but I mean they already have several centers. They have McGee, they have Biyombo, and they have DeAndre Ayton.
I don't
hate
this for the Pacers, to be honest with you. Nice backup.
I mean, because no.
big
No,
for.
because this
Yeah.
is the thing. This is honestly why I say that. For one, they had Torrey
Torrey
Craig
Torrey
last
Craig
year.
is
You
a
could've
good
re-signed
player
him.
in this
That makes
league,
no sense.
man.
Two, why did they even brought in Biyombo when you drafted Jalen Smith, who had shown flashes of being like an NBA power forward or an NBA center? You ship him to Indiana, where that man has ample opportunity now to become like 10 times better than probably Biyombo. But yeah, but I think another reason why is because
Clearly
like
they didn't like
DeAndre Ayton
enough what they
obviously is
saw,
Ayton, like
or else they wouldn't have traded him.
that's a top tier center. But then they went out and signed two people in JaVale and Biyombo that do the exact same thing as Jalen. Of course, eventually they're gonna want to pick the vets. But yeah, but I tell they're gonna pick the vets overall. But it's like trading for Torrey
Except
Craig.
their
Literally,
vets,
you had him
exactly.
last
Except
season.
their
You could have
vets.
just brought him
That
back
matters.
if he was that valuable to you. Yeah, they could have. I mean, because free agency, why they didn't make
could
that
they?
many moves. They got JaVale. They traded for
Do we know
Shaman.
that?
Like they didn't have that much money to spend.
No, I get that, but I'm saying like, but Torrey literally could have went on his own. Like we don't know this. We don't know that situation unless it strictly says
sure.
they offered him
Maybe
and he
traded.
refused and took it. We don't know that.
It all depends. It all depends. But I mean,
I don't think he was traded last year.
so now they got Shaman through trade.
I don't think they made a trade last year. I mean, they're looking at it's a perimeter defense depth move. Like that's what they want.
Yeah,
that's what they felt that they still needed, this season. So that's what they went and got.
Maybe because I'm really high on Jalen Smith. I don't know why. I'm really high on Jalen Smith. So.
I mean, yeah, but like ideally, like would he be better than DeAndre Ayton? And if not, then it's like there's not really a point to keep him because he's not gonna fulfill his potential.
Yeah, from a potential standpoint,
like,
he
he's not
might
gonna take
pass
DeAndre Ayton's spot.
I mean,
then there's really
at least for the
years
of them competing, he'd be better than Biyombo. He'd be way better than Biyombo.
Maybe they like what they saw from Biyombo. They brought him in. He immediately made an impact. Like immediately.
Just for the record, I don't hate Torrey Craig. Let me just put that out there. I don't hate Torrey Craig.
Being
I came in kind of hostile, but like
I don't
hate Torrey Craig. Torrey Craig is probably a nice person, but it's just
it was extremely hostile.
Yeah, no. I had to clear that up because
he's
somebody
a good basketball player too.
He hates Torrey. What Torrey do? I think like Craig took his chick or something. Like why are you so mad?
I mean a hater. I mean a hater. Yeah. Oh. Speaking of the Suns, another deal. Nice. They get Aaron Holiday for cash.
I feel like the Holidays have been good players.
Yeah. He gets to sit.
Tree with Chris Paul.
He gets to sit behind Chris, I guess, and Cameron Payne. He ain't gonna get on the court.
But he might not touch the court.
Yeah, you know? we all know that he ain't gonna touch the court unless somebody get hurt.
Campaign will go down. That just sounds messed up. But I mean, you know, if something happens to Cam, you know, Aaron's on the road.
Wow,
you know, he learned it from both of them. Come in, you know, it ain't even gonna be like that much of a drop off, you know. And then I feel like Aaron's like, I think he's pretty much he's a pretty average. He's a pretty above average defender. He shoot a little bit. He is undersized, but I mean they have Chris Paul, like so. I mean that doesn't really matter. So I feel like it works out. It's definitely a long term thing.
Like, it's a non-impact.
Even if he stays that long, I don't think it's something that affects him.
I mean, I don't even know what his potential is because he doesn't really play that much. So I mean, I don't. Another flyer.
Yeah.
Gramps, what's next?
Okay, next up. Wizards and Mavs. Kristaps Porzingis and a future second to the Wizards for Spencer Dinwiddie and Davis Bertans.
It's a trade.
Um,
I have one word for this. Why?
I mean, I guess the Washington gets Kristaps, who had All-Star potential at one point. Maybe he can get back to that.
More or less, yeah.
And then obviously Washington, they didn't want Spencer. They didn't want him there, so they were willing. Yeah, they were willing to do whatever. And then I guess and Dallas gets another shooter in Davis. I mean, he can shoot, so I don't really think either team necessarily got that much better right now. But I don't know. It depends on if Spencer can like regain his form, and if Kristaps can like return. I mean, playing with a different situation other than like Luka. I don't know.
They do get a little bit better. I'm not gonna say a lot because I mean Bertans will probably mean more to this rotation than Dinwiddie, in my opinion. Yeah, I'm about to say defensively. I mean, but that team as a whole, I don't even know.
They don't get better defensively.
they play team D, so I mean it depends how you look at it. But Wizards, yeah. And
they lose a shot blocker.
Rejuvenate his defense.
Kristaps was a good shot blocker.
We're just giving up Trez to get back a guy like Kristaps in exchange for Dinwiddie, who really doesn't have the same it's not a vastly longer catalog, but doesn't have the same real catalog as Porzingis. It's like the Wizards re up that a position that they felt really mattered to them, and I don't think he turns into Knicks Porzingis because he's back in the East, but. So
they want to see want to see if they can move forward with Beal, Porzingis, and Kuz.
They could probably try to find a guard because obviously Smith is definitely not their long-term solution. I hope. So you get you a guard in there, see what happens, and you go from there.
All right. And save the best for last.
That time.
The blockbuster
Is it that time?
It is that time. We've gotten through everything. The blockbuster trade of the day. James Harden and Paul Millsap to the Philadelphia 76ers for Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, and 2 first-round picks.
What years are those picks?
I believe one is this year, but could be next year.
Let me see.
And then, I'm pretty sure they can be depending on pick protection, I believe. But I think
I see. I got it right here. 20. Yeah, this year. One is this year, and the other is the 2027.
It's very far away.
Pretty far away. Oh no! This is a side note. Somebody was. I can't remember who it was. Some media person. It was like, yeah, they get Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, and some 13-year-old child who is yet to be named. Because it's 2027, 5 years from now. There's some 13-year-old child that is yet to be named.
Well, I know Philly was trying to make another move and use those picks as bait to make that move, but I guess they didn't get it done.
You know how good the Sixers going to be.
Don't nobody want them damn Philly first-round picks.
Pick 30. Like,
man, don't nobody want. Maybe 2027, maybe, but I don't want 20. Right, I don't want 2022.
At a 25 and below pick. Man.
I'm not talking that nonsense. Man, but I think both teams got better, man. Obviously, Philly it just entered a stratosphere. Mm-hmm. I've been saying this all year. We've seen this recipe before. Elite big man with elite perimeter shooting guard or elite perimeter talent, I should say. We've seen it before. Joel Embiid has a little bit more versatility to his game as far as like shooting outside and things like that. James Harden is a little bit more playmaking oriented than like a Kobe Bryant would be. More so just play style, not necessarily by talent, but just by that. That pick and roll and their ability to play off each other, I think is going to be huge. And the fact that you guys know how I feel about Seth Curry, so that sucks. But the fact that they're able to keep Tobias and Thibault
and Maxey
is huge to me. I mean,
his pick and pop game even increases.
Tobias is going to eat,
of,
man.
The Texas offense.
He's really going to eat because he's like, and it's just like, like Tobias is a good NBA scorer. Like to me, like he's like the Rudy Gay like modes. You know what I mean? Like those guys that can get up to 20, 21, 22 points a game. Not really the best as like a number one or even sometimes number two scoring option, but like if he can play off of two other guys, like which he now is going to definitely be able to, it's huge. And then obviously they kept arguably the best perimeter defender in the league. I mean, they gave up arguably the other best perimeter defender in the league, but he was never going to stay. So to keep that to pair with James is huge, man. And then they get back Paul Millsap, who's a veteran. Who, I mean, I think he still has something left. I think he can definitely provide like the same kind of spark that like a Mike Scott was giving the Sixers in years past. Make some threes, play some good defense, be a smart player and a vet for the team. So I mean, I think they have definitely moved up into contention right now. To me, I have the Bucks and the Sixers meeting in that Western Conference Finals. As far as the Brooklyn guys, I love Seth Curry for this team. Oh, I love it. Oh, it's amazing. It's like we got Patty, and now we got Seth.
I agree.
We're going to be raining shots.
I agree.
I mean,
it's
Seth. It's to the point. If Seth takes all the open shots that he's going to get, he'll average. He's going to get to 20. That's how.
Once KD gets back, that'll be a high.
That's just how he plays. He just doesn't take all of his open shots. But I mean, shit, man. And then it's like, I need Ben. To me, the main point of this trade is whether or not Ben Simmons is going to be aggressive. I don't care if you can't shoot. We have Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, Seth Curry, Patty Mills. I don't care if you cannot shoot. But what I cannot allow as a team, what we cannot allow as a team is for you to let a team put either a smaller guard on you or B, a bigger, slower player on you. You have to take advantage of these. Like, I don't care if you can't shoot, but if you have to put pressure on the defense. So like you shouldn't just allow them to, like, let's say like they're playing Cleveland or something. Like there's no way you should just allow them to put Darius Garland on you and not like abuse that matchup immediately. I don't care if you can't shoot perimeter shots. Like literally clear out, go to the post, have somebody give you an entry pass and get a bucket. Like if he is aggressive, they'll be right in the conversation. The reason I don't have them in that Western Conference Finals is because I don't believe he will be. But he's in a better situation as far as just having more scores around him. Everybody can shoot, and nobody's clogging up the paint per se. So, I mean, if they want to play him, if they want to, give him some kind of, some Giannis type action, a little bit where he can, really drive and have floor spacing, he can do that. But like I said, his aggressiveness and like all of that is shot. He just didn't play like that anymore. So I don't know. He's got a change in scenery, so we'll see. But I do think that both teams. I think that both teams got better. Brooklyn, I feel like their full potential is yet to be determined. Yeah, and then Andre Drummond. He's a center. He's definitely a center.
I can't really add to that. I mean, I agree. I think this for sure benefits Tobias. Yeah. And once Ben integrates with that Brooklyn offense and added Seth to that, they're scary. They're scary.
I feel like they have brought balance back to the league.
I'm quote today real quick on this one. I said it months. I said it months ago. I said it weeks ago. I said it days ago. I said it hours ago.
Oh no!
And goddamn it, I'm gonna say it now. Ben getting out of Philly.
Blasphemy.
Is going to remind people of the very much superstar potential that this man still possesses. 6'10", handles the ball. With Brooklyn, I feel like they're gonna put him back at the position that I feel he deserves to be at. Three or the four. I feel like they're gonna put him back where he needs to be. Like they could put
which is
Patty.
No, who's gonna run the point?
Patty's a guard.
Patty's not a point guard. PTP.
Patty's a point.
He is not a point. Patty is a guard. He's not a point guard. He's not running the offense. He's a scorer.
Patty's a point.
Ben Simmons is going to be a point guard.
If I'm Steve Nash, I'm not.
You
know
that.
Even though the aggression is like a part of it, like how you said, over in Brooklyn, I'm not going to do the same thing that Philly did. More or less, I'm gonna play you how I want to play you, and more or less.
The only reason it didn't work in Philly is because A, he didn't shoot, and B, he wasn't aggressive. It's literally the only reason why we're even having this conversation. If he was aggressive on the Hawks series, they win that series and they go and they play the Bucks. Now, I don't know what happens. Even if they lose that, if he's being aggressive, it's going to be a great series. It's going 6 or 7 games, and we're probably having a different conversation because his teammates don't turn on him. His coach doesn't throw him under the bus. Like, I can't say that it didn't work. I saw it work. It literally just got worse every year. I won't say he necessarily got worse. His aggression changed, but like it got worse. The situation got worse. But
it really worked.
I've seen it. Would it work with him as a point guard?
I feel like it has to be past the second round for it to work.
Does it have to be a championship for it to work?
To pass the second.
They went to the second round. They went 7 games with Toronto, who were the champions.
I'm saying it's like to be honest.
Okay, so context means absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
I see. But they lost to the eventual. They lost to the champions on a last second fucking bing bong ass shot.
Even like
that Kawhi traveled on, by the way.
At this case, Ben, I'm gonna agree with that. Ben Simmons choked in that Atlanta series, but we also seem to forget that the Raptors series that was brought up just now was Embiid's worst series ever. Scoring everything. It was one of his worst series. So yeah. But that's always going to be the cap on more or less.
That's fine. He's putting up shots
up. Still break. That's the point.
But you know me. I've been very consistent on this. I don't care if Ben misses every shot. Take them bitches. It's all about a respect factor. Like if I as a defender don't have to respect you in any capacity, and you're not making me pay for it, then you're becoming a liability on whatever side of the ball that's happening. Like you're hurting the team. If you're taking those shots, which he would make them if he just drove to he's 6'10", athletic as shit. Like, bro, just drive and like attack the rim. You'll get a foul call. You don't shoot great free throw percentage, but shit, you ain't shooting 40. You're shooting like 50 or 60. You're gonna make at least one of them. A lot of times you'll make 2 of them. You just be aggressive. That's all a lot of people were saying. Like, bro, if you just be aggressive. It doesn't. I never cared if he missed the shots. Just be like, we know that you're not a great shooter, or we assume so because you don't take those shots. But if you just use your God-given talents that you've used in the past, like he used to drive like crazy, he used to bang on people. If you just do that, you'd have been fine. But they're definitely gonna put him. I can't see. I would be thoroughly shocked if they don't put him at the point guard position, just because. Unless they move Kyrie back, but then if you take, that's the same. That would kind of create the same thing. Unless they're going to really put him in like a Draymond Green type of role, but even Draymond Green's the forward, but he runs a lot of the offense for the Warriors. So it's like if they're going to do that, then maybe. But that is a very complex. It is very complex.
But I feel like in most cases,
offensive system. You know what I mean?
I feel like if anybody if I would trust
It's not something that anybody
in
can
the
just
league
do.
outside of like a Draymond or a Giannis to like put themselves in that type of scenario, it would be him. It's more or less, I feel like that's more or less a better use of his talent. And obviously, like in the case of he'd be playing with KD and Kyrie, just shooting all over the place. Steph Curry, Patty off the bench, big wide shoot. I wouldn't even have they ran him at the 5 every once in a while, just so you wouldn't have to run Andre Drummond. I wouldn't be surprised if he ran him at the 5, just for the mismatch factor. 6'10". He's 6'10".
He's not big enough to run at the 5, bro. He's not big enough. No, but I'm saying he's not big enough. He's not big enough. Not in the East. He gets like every time he guards Giannis, he gets completely bodied, and I don't want to see him go against Embiid because it would be worse. Like he's not. He can't do that unless he puts on pounds. He's just too small, or he don't want to bang or whatever. But it's not good for him when he gets in the paint with those two. And I mean, yeah. But also effectively, what's the difference as far as position wise? If technically we're talking about him in a Draymond Green role, where I think Steph Curry's a better passer than Kyrie, but Draymond has the ball a lot of the time. Draymond runs the offense a lot of the time. What's the difference between that and effectively being the point guard? If you're running the offense, what's the difference? I mean, yeah, but it's not like a video game where like they have to match up. So even if the Nets technically named Ben Simmons the point guard, other teams would not just sit like their 6'1" player on him. You know what I mean? They wouldn't do that
because
so like
lineup wise, like how you just said, like they would have to adjust in certain ways. So whether they put him at the 3 or the 4, or you run him at the 1. Yeah, I'm saying more or less it still would be the mismatch factor, but just
or the 1
lineup wise, I feel like it would just feel better for him to be a big.
No, but what I'm saying, like, it doesn't. I'm saying it doesn't change. I feel like we agree on the role, but also what I'm saying is that the schematics aren't going to change how he's guarded or how other teams play him. To me, I think he's going to be a primary facilitator for this team. If he's at the 1,
yeah. What? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I said in past conversations regarding this, I see it as like a Markel Fultz situation. You get out of Philly, you reach your potential. That's how I see it.
And we have definitely gone back and forth with this for at this point months now. We definitely disagree on. It's been a long time. Me and PTP definitely disagree on who's more at fault for this particular player situation. We both agree. They fucked Markel for sure, without a doubt. But as far when it comes to the Ben Simmons thing, we definitely disagree. I'm more of on the side of Ben kind of being more responsible for his struggles as opposed to the Sixers. But I mean, either way, he is out and he gets to play with two of the best, probably two of the most talented players at the position, or it's not even probably two of the most talented players at their position, if not the most talented at their positions to play. So, he's going to have scoring around him. He'll have his spacing for sure, and he won't have to share the paint. So this is a match made. This is a perfect situation for Ben Simmons. You have your two co-stars are elite scorers and shooters, and then you also have other elite shooters on the perimeter as well. So
that should never be a thing. Or Claxton.
Andre and Ben can't be on the floor at the same time though. That's facts.
Question.
He's gonna be on the road.
Question: when is Ben
the next game?
Play?
Oh, I feel like he's gonna play. He'll play soon. he's gonna
honestly,
magically
Cap, 'cause, I mean,
be
he got
mentally
married.
ready.
It was mainly the fact that he just didn't want to play in Philly anymore.
Oh no, yeah. Right, and we just want to say, going for 3 pod, we so we are very cognizant of mental issues, and mental health is a very real thing. We just think that Ben Simmons was full of cap. We just think that he didn't want to play.
First it was like,
and,
first they said it was like,
some way
lingering injuries,
to,
and they say he didn't like the
not
team.
play
They
and still
said,
collect money, I guess.
mentally he was hurt.
There you go.
And there's a lot of things that, like you say, it could be a load of baloney. And the fact of is, like, everybody knew, even his team knew. Like, even him losing money didn't affect him. You would think he beat the Preds off losing money. No. It was the fact that he just didn't like Philly anymore. So, if plus, like, seeing that he's going to be on the road with the team, like, almost immediately at the day of that he gets moved, he's going to Brooklyn to travel with the team, more or less. That says everything. So, like, they're probably best friends because they both hate the media.
It does.
They both hate
Kyrie
the media.
be best friends.
Burning passion, I feel like, at this point. And, KD's probably just in between because obviously KD just wants to get dubs. Yeah, and it just, like, also, just to put this in perspective.
KD just want to play basketball. That's all he cares about.
I don't know if we're going to talk about it at some point, but the All-Star draft was tonight, and James Harden got picked last, so I guess he's on Bron's team. So that lets you know how KD's feeling about how this trade deadline ended for the Brooklyn Nets. So he just focused on getting back on the court, getting his legs under him, and hopefully bringing a championship to them. So.
Oh man, shit! Because I mean, it was all fine and dandy until when Kevin was playing, it was all fine and dandy. He gets hurt, and then he comes back, and the team's
it's like all of
gone. Like he's like,
all of a sudden,
y'all literally couldn't just play basketball until I got back. Like we were fine.
Don't nobody respect.
We were literally fine.
Like, not on the bench, like side eyeing like little girls. It's like we could have been contenders.
Like we were literally like.
Yeah.
Second in the East before I got hurt, and
B post a little meme of
I come back and the house is burning.
Funeral. Like he's happy as hell. So.
Oh, he did. Yeah, I love it.
He's probably thinking rest in piss.
I love it.
Like
Joel,
they play in March,
and Bede.
I tell you, the tickets are gonna be $2K. Like whoever goes to that game witnesses history.
Ben not about to smoke.
Hey, who knows?
That's the only thing.
That trade might spark something to me. He might start moving like I am moving in practices. Like when he practices shooting, he talks spicy. He might put. Oh no!
He gonna have a triple single game.
They probably single get clapped.
Oh, wow.
But no, it should be fun.
I doubt it. Oh no! Hey, listen, if Kyrie and Kevin, like the teams, they're both contending teams.
Yeah,
they both got better, in areas that they need to get better. So Brooklyn gets an elite defender who you can stick on shit. Damn near, not everybody, but damn near anybody.
Yeah.
Except for the guys that they need to. Except for the guys that he needs to guard in the East. They're gonna put Claxton. Well, I guess no, because Drummond gets ate up by Embiid too, and Giannis. Honestly, he gets ate up by both of them.
I
don't know. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, that plays shoot.
I mean, you got to put somebody in front of him.
At that point, hey, Kevin.
I'm sorry. I'm not doing that to Ben. That's barbecue chicken.
That was like chuckling. They hit him with the beat his shoulder. Like
he gonna turn around and see Ben behind him and say, "Oh my goodness."
They gonna have a jersey swap.
He gonna have Shaq telling him he proud of him after the game.
Laker fit.
But
back him down in that post and be.
That's how you eat up, big fella. That's barbecue chicken down there.
Oh my goodness.
Take him to the woodshed, Chuck. That same way of being doing Simmons. I did you back in the 80s.
Exactly.
I did you dirty back in the 90s. I feel like the first time they
Definitely
match
gonna
up,
give him
he definitely getting
give him a
attacked.
couple of
He
elbows,
getting
a couple
attacked.
drop steps. Man. And then I also want to say one thing. I want to talk about the team that that didn't make any moves today. So you know, when Cam Reddish got traded from the Hawks, and I heard that we didn't want to what we didn't want to give because we didn't what we didn't want to give to get him, I was hurt and devastated. I was like, we didn't want to give that up for Cam Reddish, a potential star, superstar, talent level player. We didn't want to give that up for him. Whatever. So then I get news that he's in. They're discussing a trade today, and for some reason, Gramps, it just doesn't go through. Now, Gramps, if I find out,
They did something about Terrence
About
Ross.
Terrence Ross?
no, we didn't get him either, so it doesn't matter. If I find out we didn't get Cam Reddish because we didn't want to give up THT or some bullshit like that,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to explode. I'm going to spontaneously combust out of stress and anger, and I won't be able to do the pot anymore because I'll be exploded.
I know you guys were seemingly after Ross, and
Terrence Ross has been linked to like almost every LeBron team, like every year at the trade deadline, and it never happens, right? But we don't mean.
And then the Rockets tried you.
I mean, John. I mean,
said no.
I ain't go. I ain't go.
I don't necessarily blame you for that one. I mean, honestly.
I mean, I'm not gonna give you a first round pick.
No. Eventually, at some point, like Christian Wood
that was the deal.
They were sending John
No.
Wall to.
I was about to say that wasn't the deal. We would have to have given them way more though. They wanted us to give them a first attached to Russell just to get John Wall. So to get Christian, we would have had to probably give a Russ a first, THT.
I mean, they probably would have still. They probably would have still been content.
They probably would have asked us for money.
I mean, he's still a young guard.
I don't know, some dumb shit like that.
Like if it was like Westbrook, THT, and a first, probably would have got it done for you. Yeah. Because Wood's good, but I mean, Wood ain't the bargaining chip.
John Wall and Wood,
for the fact of like it's.
I mean, if we could have did that, I definitely would have. That would definitely be interesting. That would change the way we play.
Traditional style, yeah.
To how we're supposed to play, playing slow, two bigs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you would probably have starting lineup of John, Malik,
floor spacing would have been crazy,
Wood, and AD. That's a big lineup.
But yeah.
But yeah, we'll never know because they didn't pull anything, they didn't do anything, and they fucking suck. And Rob Pelinka looks like Rob Lowe, and fucking Russell Westbrook, fucking Ninja Turtle looking headlines, and LeBron with no fucking hairline, AD with a unibrow, and
holy shit! Look, whoa!
And fucking what else? Who else? Malik Monk went to Kentucky and they sucked this year, and what else? Stanley Johnson, off the street head ass looking boy, and fuck yeah, what else? I don't even know, man. Who else is on there? Austin Reeves, old hillbilly Kobe looking self. Mac McClung in the G League. We didn't want it. Yeah. Who else needs to be?
I think
old House on the Prairie looking self.
This is good.
Listen, man.
This is good.
Damn, this boy on everybody's throat. He's on everybody's throat right now. Holy shit. He on everybody's neck. God damn.
It upsets me because LeBron at 37 should not have to. He should not have to be doing what he's doing. He's not in his prime anymore. He's been out of his prime for a little while. He cannot do what he used to do. LeBron, 4 years ago, hey, listen, probably fourth in the West. but he can't. Like he can still play at a very high level, but he cannot overcome issues, the same issues that he could in the past. And he's not playing perfectly either. Obviously, he's turning the ball over a shit ton too. But I don't know. I just don't understand. You know, the Westbrook thing was an experiment. I get, but I just don't understand why we went for like all these old guys, all these old wash buckets. And I was saying that before the roster, like the Avery Bradley, Kent Bazemore, White, or DeAndre Jordan, Trevor Ariza. Like I didn't have hope for that. I thought Trevor would be better. I did, but I mean that's because I thought he would be. I thought silly me. I thought it was 2016 again. You know, so this team should be literally made up of LeBron, AD. Melo is fine, Dwight is fine, and everybody else needs to be like young, live legs that can defend and or make a shot and or create a shot. So the Kendrick Nunn and Malik Monk additions, great for the team. Even though Kendrick Nunn hasn't even played yet, the idea of him was great for the team. Malik has been a godsend. So, you know, competently defensively at times. Elite, microwavable ability on offense all the time. You know, so I was saying he's J.R. Smith, you know, but younger. I don't know. He's not as good, question, but just that type of player. LeBron.
You think LeBron listens to
you know? So
Mooney Long at all? Mooney Long.
What's up?
I feel like after like, you know, the trade deadline not passed or passing, it didn't do anything.
I don't even know what that is.
What his team is. He probably wishes he had a time machine. This team would look a little bit better.
I mean, well, yeah, but you know, yeah. I mean, of course. I don't need a time machine for I don't even need a time machine for everybody. I can take if you give me Melo and I can take him back, just him, I'll be fine. Give me these old ass geezers and 37-year-old LeBron with 28-year-old Anthony Davis and a prime Melo, and I'll be fine. So you know, it's whatever, man.
All right, I think that's a good spot to end the show for this week.
The Lakers fucking suck. All right, I'm done. I promise.
Okay. Sorry. So we appreciate everybody listening to us. Follow us on Twitter at Going for 3 Pod and our Instagram now, Going for 3 Podcast. You can follow me on Twitter at Tony the Real Gentleman. Your socials.
You can follow me at Chris D. Collins on Instagram and Twitter, where I, at this point, may be openly slandering the Lakers organization. The house is on fire. The ship is sinking.
You can follow me on Twitter at PTP_99. Yeah. Also, I will be adding Marvin Bagley III to the K Cunningham enthusiast section of my page as of the end of this podcast. So, hey, if you could say Derek White is a great defender, I could be a Marvin Bagley enthusiast.
Anyway. All right.
He's going to be the Cade Cunningham enthusiast and the Marvin Bagley apologist.
Don't give me any ideas, man, please. Damn it. Oh, Lord of mercy. Anyway, thanks to everyone for listening to this episode and every other one you listen to. And we will be with you next week for more shenanigans, more knowledge, and more of Going for 3.
And more Lakers losses.
Have a blessed night, everyone.